Welcome to the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 24. I have my many co-hosts here today. We got a full house today. I got King Earl here. I got Blaze here. I got Shady here. And Nash Cowboy here. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, boys?
Doing well,
Guys?
Great to see all you guys. Excited to have you guys here today. And we have lots of news that is headlining right now in today's show. The first thing I want to talk about is Donald Trump, ex-president of America. Some say he's going to be the future president of America. Right now we've got Joe Biden as the president of America. Donald Trump is hitting the stand tomorrow. He's going to be hitting the stands tomorrow, and this is a $250 million fraud charge on Donald Trump for making his numbers of his real estate assets look better than what they are. And he's had his son, Donald Trump Jr., on the stand last week. They had Eric Trump on the stand last week. And this week they want, on Monday, Donald Trump on the stand and Ivanka Trump. So this is huge news. I want to know what you think about this. We'll start with you, my friend, King Earl. What do you think about this news?
Can it end already? I mean, the man has been through enough attacking. It's a civil case. It ain't even nothing criminal, but it's still receiving, like the top headlines across everything. I mean, just because he was president and he's going to be running again. I mean, it's just another attack from the left that continues to go on. And they can't say that, all of his bankruptcies anymore because nobody cares. So now he's just fudging numbers, which nobody cares. And I mean, he's just going to pay a little bit of money, $250,000, not crap. And let's move on from here and let's get him back in office if that's what's going to be the people's choice this time instead of, potential rigged elections that we've been reading about.
All right. Well, you know what? I love getting your guys' opinions, and I want to know what you think about this. What do you think about this, Shady?
I think that it's kind of a joke at this point. I mean, they've taken him to multiple courts at this point. Nothing is really stuck the whole time. It's not like he didn't pay the money back that they're saying was committed on fraud, for the loans and the reimbursements and everything. I mean, he basically just showed America that there's a system that you can go through where you won't get in trouble because of the tax codes. And I think that they're just trying to stick him with whatever they can so that he doesn't expose all the corruption.
Well said. Well said. I think a lot of people feel that way too. And what do you think about this, Nash Cowboy?
As always, they're doing whatever they can to try and make them look bad. It's going to keep continuing. I know it is. It's all a bunch of bull. And hopefully they just get over it soon. I hope he sticks it to him when he gets on the stand, to be quite honest.
All right. And what do you got to say about this, Blaze? What do you think about this?
Bro, it's just another sidetracking thing that's going on. We all know about this. We've known about it. I think a couple fines are going to be paid, and it's going to be over with pretty quick. It's just another hiccup. The Trump subjects like that is pretty tough because you know why they're doing it to him. They don't want him to be the president, So I think he gets out of it. Couple bucks, like Earl said, pay it off, done.
I agree with a lot of your guys' sentiment. I think this is really big news because you got the ex-president on trial for a $250 million fraud case. So they're doing everything they can to make him look bad, his kids look bad. They're putting his kids on the stand. They're putting a lot of pressure on the ex-president while he's trying to fight against Joe Biden because he wants to be the next president. So they're trying to make him look bad, as far as I'm concerned, in the eyes of the public. And even if he doesn't lose, then he's potentially could lose votes because he looks bad by being in the eye of the public very negatively. And this is his son here, Eric Trump. And Eric Trump was on the stand this week. So my question to you guys about this is, how do you guys feel about the fact that they're taking his kids and they're questioning his kids? because essentially what they're saying is that his kids are involved in this fraud trial as well, because they were involved in the accounting of these businesses, these assets, these real estate assets that they were saying were worth more than what they were. This is why this fraud case, I think, is actually a very scary fraud case for Trump, because realistically, if they can prove that they played with the numbers to make him look like he did do fraud, it actually puts all of his kids in the middle of this with him. So I'd like to know, what do you guys think about that? Their strategy of putting Eric Trump and Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump on the stand. King Earl, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, they did force his hand to where he had to give over control of Trump to, or his businesses over to his kids whenever he was in office, so that it didn't hold any power outside of the office. So I would just like to know, when is their investigation going from on the dates, like the years, like, what are they trying to, which years are they trying to get him for? Because was he actually in charge of the company, or was his kids in charge of the company where he made him turn it over? You know, and are they just trying to do a defamation case against him, even though they turned it over to the kids? That's the important part, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a really good way to look at it. And I've been looking at it from that perspective as well. It's just really difficult for anyone to know yet because we haven't seen all the evidence yet. But this is why it's so fascinating that they're putting his kids on the stand. And some are even saying that his kids are lying already. So this is going to get really messy and really interesting. And Shady, what do you think about this? Putting his kids on the stand. What do you think about this strategy of turning the entire Trump empire and his entire family against each other and upside down?
Well, I think we can't compare it to Hunter Biden, that's for sure. I mean, you're looking at, someone who's corrupt, condemning a whole family that is, to me, is not that corrupt. I mean, yeah, they might have, committed a little bit of fraudulent action, but it was nothing that they didn't basically already pay for. Whereas, we look at our president, his son, and also his brother. And that whole family has been corrupt, involved in things in Ukraine and all over the world. I mean, this, again, is another distraction. Every time they put his kids on the stand or his wife on the stand, that's just to intimidate him. And I don't know if you noticed, but he's not intimidating. He's very calm, cool, collect. And I think that this is only going to give him more votes in the end.
That's well said. I like what you had to say there. I think a lot of what you said is really, really good, and it's very true. And obviously, there's going to be people on the left, the Democrats, and then people on the right, the Republicans, and everyone's going to kind of have their own opinion. And that's why I love doing this show and getting a chance to hear from you guys. Nash Cowboy, we were having some difficulties with last time you were speaking. What do you think about this? The strategy of having his kids go on the stand against him, or being essentially involved in this transaction?
Again, I think it's a witch hunt. They're trying whatever they can do to possibly push some kind of plea bargain, probably. I don't know. It's becoming monotonous.
Sounds like you have crickets wherever you are. So I don't know why we're having that. Maybe maybe if you guys help me out here, when Nash speaks, if you guys could just mute, because I think we're getting some feedback from someone.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Okay, when Nash speaks specifically. Otherwise, you guys, when Nash is not speaking, he's muted, and you guys are welcome to speak and talk about whatever you want. That's well said, Nash, and I agree with you. Blaze, what do you think about this strategy of them using Trump's kids against him?
It's a chess move. It's like, hey, we're going to put your kids up there. You're going to give up and tell the truth, or you're going to sell your kids out and make them get in trouble. Any kid will lie for their dad. So, bad chess move. They're well trained. They ain't going to get nothing out of it. So, I hate the idea of any court system putting a kid against their parents. They didn't do nothing wrong. They don't need to be subjected to that mess. I don't care how old they are. That's my opinion.
Okay, that's well said. I like all your guys' opinions. My thing is if they can prove that he cooked the books, which a lot of people do, I don't know what the trouble, what's going to happen. But what I'm concerned about is he's I'm hearing he's running out of money. Because with all these trials that he's going to, he's spending so much money in legal fees that my fear is that he's starting to run into financial trouble. You know, being a guy that has all these billions, I'm sure he has tons of debts and tons of different things that are financed. So if he's just pulling money all the time to pay for lawyers, maybe that's the strategy, is to just bankrupt him financially and keep him in the courts where he just runs out of money. So what do you think about that? Do you think that that could happen, King Earl? Do you think that he could ever run out of money?
Well, I mean, it's plausible that the man could could run out of money. However, I mean, like I said, it is a civil case, but I mean, what's it matter at the end of the day? It ain't like he sent 30,000 classified documents out or emails, you know, and if they can get by with it and not have anything with having a back server in your bathroom or basement, then why should he, be held responsible on the public eye as far as being able to run for president for a cookbook situation for a company or business that he has run? I mean, they keep trying to drag this crap up every year that he runs for elections because they can't get him for anything else. They loosely word everything. They tried to get him for things he's not even responsible for, or just cook him into multiple scenarios that could potentially fit it, just to try to get something or anything to stick without it even fitting the causes that they're going for. So they never win. And it's just going to suck up his money. And then they know that he's not really taking anything for his election. But the problem is he doesn't need any of his money to run for presidency, because it's all paid through campaign ads and he can't use that in his normal court cases. So it's all set to the side. And then, he's still going to, even if he runs out of money, he isn't going to take another dime from freaking running while he sits on the presidency seat. And he can't be bought, and they're trying to buy him in the end by making him look bad. That's my personal opinion. They don't have any control or power over him. So they're trying to get rid of his money, get rid of his fame, and just try to get some type of control from him after they do defamation on his character and his bankroll.
Shady, what do you think?
I like that answer, Earl.
I think that
I
he's
do
not.
too.
I don't think he's going to run out of money. I mean, he's got too many businesses that are accruing money every day. Unless they just completely freeze all of his assets. I mean, every last one, even through family members. But I don't see that happening. It would take too much, and there's too little a time of a window for them to try to convict him anyway. And I think that all this stuff is going to be overturned right after the next election. I mean, we already know Biden's not going to make it. The only person left is Trump. So if Trump becomes president through this, which there's no law saying that you can't vote him as president while he's in jail. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. But
Dude,
yeah,
could you
there's actually no
imagine
law.
a president that's in jail?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't
And
even
that's
think
the
about
thing.
that. That would be so wild.
So that's the
But
thing
I
on
mean,
this is like there's no way that you can keep that from happening. Like there's no law against it. And that's I
wow.
think what they're gonna fall for.
Wow. Okay. That's that just blew my mind. What do you think about this Nash Cowboy? Is he gonna run out of money?
No, I don't think so. I think he already pays his lawyers up front a set amount for the whole fucking whole freaking case. Sorry, and I think it's already been paid, so I don't think he'll run out of money. I'm gonna grab another device real quick and come back on it.
We can hear you perfectly right now, just so you know. That was perfect.
Wow. I don't
So
know.
I think everyone else is muted. Blaze, what do you think about this?
Okay.
Is he running out of money?
No, absolutely not, because he's going to court because of business, right? Okay, business expense. He could write that stuff off.
$250 million fraud trial. They're trying to say that.
Okay, so
Okay,
it's a
so the
fraud
real
trial
reason why
against
he's in
him and
trial
his
is they're
business.
trying to say that he ballooned his assets so that he could get loans for other properties and mortgages, which is it's a form of fraud. But it's kind of like what everybody does in business.
Okay, so they're going after him for a business aspect, not a
A
personal.
business transaction.
Okay, so technically, with that being said, in the United States, that's a business expense, and it can be paid for by us, the taxpayers.
Yes.
So he's not going to run out of money. This is Donald Trump we're talking about here, and the government's going to have to pay daily on this one. He takes his big write-offs for all the money they made him waste in court. Simple. That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys' opinion. Let's go into the next topic here, and it's Sam Bankman-Fried. So I'm going to let King Earl talk about this. He was like, we got to talk about this. This is huge news. And you're right. The founder of FTX Exchange, who stole billions and billions of dollars of customers' money, gave it to his girlfriend's company on Meta Research and just lost it and blew it, gave it to Democrats and politicians and all kinds of different weird things that he did with his money. And he's finally been found guilty for up to 110 years. What do you think about this, King Earl?
I think this kid should run for president next because he was already dreaming that he was, and he was already, lubing the wheels that go for it. Now, I mean, it would fit just right in with Joe Biden, just handing out money to different people and politicians trying to buy your way through it and just aid anybody that you can to get an upper hand without even looking at the situation that you're funding. So it's just great that here in America, we do have a system that does work every once in a while for justice, where this loser can go to jail and face, a potential 115 years off this first case, waiting for the sentencing and the secondary case coming up. But due to this, the FBI, 5 FBI agencies, field agencies, have now submitted subpoenas and seized the transactional records of all of FTX's transactions, looking for unfair or um, outgoing transactions that might have affected the business failures or business malpractice, or if anybody was being actually set up and given extra priority or rates or any perks as far as being within the company for malpractice. So the FBI is going to go looking through that, but is also going to give them an upper hand. And this guy, was pushing for all the regulation on crypto. And, sometimes when you're doing it, you're going to be the fault guy when they actually do start doing it, especially when you're doing corrupt business. I mean, how are you going to be pushing for crypto regulation and being one of the biggest breakers of all trading transactions and investment firms that there is in the SEC and the CFTC. So, I mean, it's good to see this loser go to jail. Too bad he didn't get his dream of being president. Hopefully, his worst fears in prison come true, as he made millions and made everybody go bankrupt potentially, and everybody lost money because this loser decided that he was better than everybody else and that he knew something. And I'm just glad to see the trash go in the trash bin finally.
Wow. Okay. Not holding back your feelings. Shady, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What do you think about this? Sam Bankman-Fried on trial gets charged and found guilty and could potentially spend 110 years in jail.
I don't know a whole lot about this one, but I do know that some of the money went towards his girlfriend and a
Her company,
significant
Almeida
amount.
Research.
So
Yes,
so
millions.
so I'm just sitting here thinking about this. Not only is he going to get in trouble, but is he going to get her in trouble? I mean, this is a whole nother question to ask. I mean, I might
Well,
not
she's
know a
had
whole
to
lot
take a
about
plea
this.
bargain, and she's taken a plea bargain, and she's actually one of the witnesses against him. So
Yeah,
she's literally had to turn against him to save herself. She turned on him, and he literally gave her billions of dollars
I
and her
mean,
company.
it just makes you wonder who else was he sending money to, and where else did the money go? Because they don't even have all the money accounted for.
Well, the funny thing is they asked him what is his biggest fear going to jail, and you wouldn't believe what it is. His biggest fear is not having access to the internet. So my question is, well, that's probably because he's sitting there wondering what his crypto's worth. All his billions of crypto. He wants to be like us, watching his crypto go up. So he's angry that in jail he doesn't have access to internet. This is what he's worried about. So he's like a big kid. I don't think he really understands the severity of what he's done. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? Sam Bankman, 110 years.
I am with you on that. I don't think he understands the severity, but he's going to learn real quick when he gets behind those bars that there's some very wealthy people that he ripped off that can pay people in there that are much worse than him to take care of business. I think he's going to get a rude awakening. And yeah, well, it's FAFO. So,
All right.
he's about to find out. That's all I can say.
For sure. Blaze, what do you think about this? Sam Bankman-Fried found guilty on all charges, 110 years, up to 110 years in jail. Did he get what he deserves?
I think he should. I don't know. I don't think the guy's all with it mentally, to be honest with you, to think he'd get away with something like that. But he should have had an option to cough it all up, tell him where it is, because he knows something. To lesser the sentence to like 19, 20 years. But no, I don't agree on 100 years. I think it's stupid. It's not going to recover anybody's money. It ain't going to do garbage. You need to get his ass out there and have him recover people's money. That's the easy way out, because he's going to die even if he's in or out of jail, because somebody's going to get him. You know how this world is, guys. So 100 years, I just think, oh, guys, you all got robbed hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars and billions of dollars. We put them away for 100 years, but you ain't getting your money back. What does that do for people's funds that were lost? Nothing. Zero. And 100 years, really? Who's going to live that long? That's stupid. I don't agree on any of it. They did it all wrong. I don't like the whole entire subject.
I
My
like
opinion.
your
Sorry.
response. It's different and
Thank
very,
you.
very, very interesting and entertaining. Okay, so my opinion on this is that this guy has done a
Thanks,
lot of
Rich.
bad things. This guy's done a lot of bad things. He's clearly gotten away with it. Now he's going to jail. The question is, what kind of jail is he going to be in? Is he going to be in like a jail for rich people? Is he going to be in a normal jail? This is what I want to see. If he's going to get 110 years, is he going to get it like living at his mom's house like he has been lately? He's been living at his mom's house. Or is he actually going to go into jail with like the normal population? That's kind of what I want to see. So let's see how they follow through with this, or if
Rich, I get a
honestly,
little tidbit to add to that.
go ahead.
No, he won't be in a regular jail. He's going to be out on an island somewhere. Everybody's paid off. That's my feeling. No way. It just don't make sense.
That's what it feels like,
Conspiracy.
right? And we're not going to hear it. It's going to be swept under the rug.
It's going to be
We're not gonna hear
exactly
it.
right under the rug. It's going to go under the rug. He got 100 years. Everybody's going to be like, yay, 100 years. I'm broke, though. At the end of the day, we ain't going to hear nothing about it. He's going to live the rest of his life nicely. Don't worry about it. That's how things are done nowadays.
Now let's talk about the Fed. So the Fed decided to keep the rates unchanged. This was huge news for the markets. Stock markets really had a nice rally last week. Bitcoin, which we're going to get into next, has been doing extremely well, is up well over 100% this year. Crypto and altcoin assets are starting to pop all over the place. Everyone's getting excited. We're back into Bitcoin bull market season. There's a lot of catalysts coming. A lot of good, exciting things are happening. We've got an election coming. So typically that's very good for the markets. And now the Fed is not raising rates for 2 meetings in a row. So King Earl, what do you think about this? Have they stopped raising rates? Are we going to see rates go down now? Are they just doing a pause and then they're going to raise them again? What do you think about this?
I think last week was the best week in stocks for the whole entire year. Number one, Apple came out and revealed its profits. Work numbers were down, which shows that it might be fighting for inflation, so it might be a flip. It's going to be continuing to see, but some of those numbers are going to go up with Christmas coming around, Black Friday, all the spending's going to come in. So even as people are spending more money, the jobs are actually going down. That's why people are like, oh, well, the market's recovering nicely, so they're investing their money, but they're, a little quick to realize that, it's holiday spending and holiday saving. And people are a little bit more loose with their cash during the holidays. So they already know it's coming, travel, setting up plans, everything for winter, stocking, fuel, everything getting set up, fuel prices dropping due to Venezuela sanctions being lifted and flooding in the market there. So we're looking at, in the whole macro strategy, we're looking at the fact that winter's coming. It's going to be setting upon us, South America, springtime, summertime, they're going to be spending some of their money as well. As far as the Fed's dropping the numbers, I don't see that going for the foreseeable future, especially after the Christmas. I think we're going to be looking on into it here within the new year, where they're going to do a reanalysis of it. They already promised one more this year, so they might do that in December, just try to leave it off. But I mean, it's kind of late for them to do it, so they might not. They might just continue to pause and hold out until January.
Earl, hold that thought for
However,
a second. Is everybody muted? Because I hear like scratchy. Sorry I interrupted, but it was real loud. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, however, we're looking at the fact that they might hold it out to January. These spot ETFs might be getting approval as early as this week and then into January 10th for the deadlines. So that'd be prime time for him to pop it in, would be January if he's going to raise it any. But, he already said that he sees fighting inflation is going to continue on until 2025, along with Japan and the ECB. So I don't see our rates going anywhere until the crunch or it's really felt across the world. But with the halving and the markets coming up, those of us that are investors, we're going to see our investments go up and our portfolios go up as more people get ready to spin into the markets. But, when it's spending time, it's always hard time in people's pockets. That's the way the world works. And if you got money to invest, that's when you invest it. And if you don't, you don't, but it's gonna hurt either way in your pocketbook because of the markets and the way the world turns. It's always harder on people's pockets during investment time into the markets because that's when the markets like seeing you the brokest, so you don't get as much money in, so they get all the good stuff.
Okay, well said. Shady, what do you think? They're keeping the rates the same. You think the
I
rates are going
think
to
that
go up
there.
from here? Or you think they're going to go down from here? Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I think there's a little bit more factors into it as well. I mean, me personally, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but like I believe that this war that we're getting into is actually helping it as well, especially with Bitcoin in general, like any kind of coin. Um, I think that's just because people feel that their money's more secure through Bitcoin. We're already seeing a lot of problems with a lot of the banks invest in Bitcoin now more than ever, just due to the fact of the safety. I think that's one of the factors that adds into what Earl was saying. And I think there's multiple factors, even more so than that. And a lot of that is coming from the political disputes.
Okay, well said. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? The rates have been held the same. Two meetings in a row.
Um, I'm not sure what to quite think of it. I mean, it could go one of either ways. We've got Christmas season coming up, and a lot of people are going to want to be spending some money there, and things are already outrageous. Maybe they're looking at the good side of things, trying to make it a little bit easier during the holidays. Maybe not. Maybe they'll pump in a new rate right before. Uh, I honestly am up in the air on the whole topic because there's a lot of factors going on in the world, like Shady said, that could affect everything. So, but thankfully, we do have a Bitcoin halving coming on the way, and like Earl said, those who invest are going to catch some gains.
All right, well said, Nash Cowboy. Blaze, what do you think about this? The Fed kept the rates the same for 2 meetings in a row. Is the Fed done with raising rates?
Well, we talked about this like a month ago or something, and I was one of the ones that said they ain't going to keep doing it. So um, it's the only plan because Christmas is coming and the holidays, and they want people to spend money. And when you keep taking money from people, they got nothing to spend, so the economy falls down. So and my thoughts is that's why Bitcoin's rising too, because people actually not afraid to spend some money and invest right now too. So I like everybody's answer, but we did discuss this a while back, and we were asked if we thought they were going to keep on hiking. Eventually, they got choked, So it's a good sign for us for next year.
All right, well said. I love all your guys' answers. Now, Bitcoin is on fire. We're back to 35,000. It's extremely bullish right now. Obviously, everyone here has some Bitcoin or some exposure to Bitcoin or is playing a little bit of crypto or learning about crypto. I think that Bitcoin, in my opinion, is the single greatest investment of our lifetimes. I've seen many charts of how much Bitcoin is up in the last 10 years compared to every other asset. It's not even close. There's nobody close to Bitcoin, guys. Okay. So anyone that's watching, no asset on the planet is competing with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin this year is up over 100%. It started the year at 16,000. You have the chart here right now. You guys can see we're sitting at 35,100. So Bitcoin is literally up over 100% this year. It's been a phenomenal investment. What do you think happens from here? King Earl, start with you.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying this is not financial advice, so please do your own diligence and research into any investments you hear from here. And we're not telling you to buy anything. If you lose, that's on you. If you win, that's on you. But Bitcoin, I do see it going up. I did see a massive sell-off earlier, though, once it got up to 35.4, and then it dropped back down to 35.7. So there was a big move there. I've seen a couple of wallets waking up that haven't been active in 6 years, with upwards of up to $450 million moving around that I haven't seen really invested because it's already in Bitcoin. I've seen it move over to different exchanges and cause some of the pops just because of the movements of it. So it kind of settles itself back out for the sideways trading. But I think people are just moving their money to off ledgers and onto exchanges, getting ready for the bear or for the bull, and they're getting ready to sell, or they're getting ready to move everything. And I like where it's headed. The halving's coming, spot ETFs coming. People are going to continue to move because they're looking at 10 to 20x of their money from when they potentially invested. It's never too late to invest, especially. Um, into anything if you do your own research. And we're right on track from where we need to be. I mean, we already said, that we're going to finish off this month around 34.35, or last month off 34.35. This month, I'm forecasting about 42, potential 42 to 43K. Finish off, and then might be a little slower during December due to Christmas, and then a little sell-offs due to taxes. So I think we're heading in the right direction right before the spot ETFs, and that's numbers before any spot ETFs come in. That's just normal market play for my assumptions there. And we'll see whether my assumptions make a butt out of me or where it goes. But I'm betting on a long position this month. Here, especially this week, and then might short it a little bit the next week, and then next 2 weeks is just going to be longing it. So we see where we go from there, and play around with some numbers.
Okay, well said. And everyone knows, full disclosure, I love Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Bitcoin's my number one and Ethereum's my number two crypto holding. Don't go and buy Bitcoin just because we're talking about it, guys. Buy it because you've done the research and you love it yourself. And Shady, what do you think about this? Do you think Bitcoin goes up or down from here?
I think it's just going to continue to go up. I'm sorry, are we here? It said I was reconnecting. Can y'all hear
Yeah,
me?
we're here. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you.
I'm actually one of the ones that's newer to crypto. And when I look at the charts and I look at how the charts flow, it always seems like Bitcoin's always been very consistent. And I think that it's just going to consistently, exponentially grow to a point where it becomes a form of currency. That's my personal opinion.
I like that opinion. Thank you for sharing it. Nash Cowboy, is Bitcoin going to go up from here? You've been right so far with all your predictions. You were right about Rocktober. Now we're in November. Where do we go from here, Nash Cowboy?
I'm on a different side of things. Okay, right now at this point, it's getting harder and harder for me to predict it because we do have something unprecedented happening, and that's all these ETFs. All right, so historically, I could see a little bit of a dip and then start going back up right before the halving. But we've seen in last month, just BlackRock's ETF getting listed, it caused an even bigger boom. So um, it's kind of up in the air. Historically, I'm going to say there's going to be a little bit of a dip before it skyrockets. Um, but the ETFs could play a big part and put you right about where Earl said 40, 45 ish. Yeah, I'm with that.
Okay,
Okay,
very
very
good
good
ideas.
ideas.
So
Blaze.
my suggestion is just invest wisely. It's never a bad time to invest. So we do know what's coming. So invest.
Thank you, Nash Cowboy. Blaze, what do you think about this? Is Bitcoin going up or down from here? We're at 35,000 right now.
All right, so I was talking about it a few days ago. I always go up, but and taking profits. But every platform is solid. ETFs, the halving coming, Bitcoin go like it all-time high. Let's go, baby. That I feel.
Sorry, Blaze.
Don't listen to me if you're out in the chat. It's your money, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play with it because I like it. It's very strong, and I think it's all positive from here. Just because the past two plateaus are very strong. I like it. So that's my opinion.
Okay, I like that. I like your opinion. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I think that we are going to go higher. I feel like there's a lot of different catalysts that are going in that direction. But there are a lot of sellers that are coming out that are going to want to take advantage of this move. But I also think they're coming out and they're getting ready for a bigger move because I know I'm getting ready for a bigger move. So I'm assuming that they're getting ready for a bigger move. So that's kind of the way my mind is at. I'm like, I think that there's going to be a bigger move. So I want to be ready to sell. So when that bigger move comes, I can take advantage of it. But I'm not ready to sell yet. I don't want to sell yet. I just feel like there's so much coming. There's the Bitcoin halving coming, which is, March, April of next year. There's 10 Bitcoin spot ETFs looking to get approval by the Securities and Exchange Commission. There's so much happening. So there's this news right here. Valkyrie executive sees spot Bitcoin ETF approval this month. So my prediction is there will be an approval this month, maybe even as early as next week. So my question to you guys is this. Will there be an approval this month? Earl, yes or no?
I mean, they're talking about Valkyrie is pretty close. That might be a little tough because they're going to want people to invest into the markets before Christmas. It's only if the deadlines get automatically there. But, if they're going to do anything, I see them opening up the Ethereum ETFs before they do the Bitcoin ones, if it's going to be early, just to try to ease people. But
Okay.
I don't see them approving Bitcoin this early until they actually have to, even though they're getting a little more cozy with it, and because they don't want to get subpoenaed or removed from their position, And that's just where I'm going to stand on it.
Okay. Shady, will there be a Bitcoin spot ETF approved this month? Yes or no?
I don't think so. I think it takes time for those things. I think that, there's a lot more things they got to set up and secure before they can go forward.
All right, well said. And Nash Cowboy, what do you think? Are we going to get an approval this month on the Bitcoin spot ETF?
No, I don't think we will. I'm sticking with my guns. What I've said the past few times we talked about this, and I don't think it will be approved until January. Um, we got a few things coming, a few catalysts to get over, and I think they're gonna lay it all. I do think they're gonna approve them all at the same time, and I think it'll be into the next year because it's gonna start a new tax season for one thing, and it would make no sense to me financially tax wise to throw it in at the end of a year.
All right, Blaze, what do you think?
I honestly believe by December, mid-December, I'm thinking, I don't know about this month. I'm not sure, but it's a positive thought coming out of me. I believe it's going to happen because there's so many people involved. Rooting for this month, but I think it might carry over a little bit longer, but it's going to happen before the halving. They got to get that in because they need to make their money. Everybody needs to make their money. So they're going to push. They're going to want it. They're going to keep on putting it in until they give in and they allow them to do it. After March,
Okay, Earl, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I also want to add into the
My internet
Barely
is
at the
slow.
end there, Blaze.
Hold on.
But
You're cutting out there, Blaze. Sorry.
yeah, I just wanted to add into the point to back up what Nash actually said with them pushing it into the next year is that they, with the tax season coming, they also don't want to see the liquidity of the banks pushed into an asset they don't have control or regulation over. So they're not going to have any way of doing that. So they don't want to see the liquidity from the banks removed after the banks just got hit with all these huge fines. And so I do see them actually waiting off until the next year so they can write it off on the taxes and everything. So because liquidity in the banks is they're going to have that there, especially during the holidays here, and they're already going to be in the hole, and they're not going to have to show it next year until after the first quarter. So I mean that's when the markets will be impacted after the halving, and they're going to expect that the markets will pick up and kind of rekindle that a little bit with repayments. So they're definitely going to wait till after the first of the year if they're smart and work with the Fed on this decision. So that's where that's going to lie, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying. Like if they extend it to the next year, but if it passes March, like if it passes a halving, it's just a done deal. It's pointless. They want to make this because there's a reason for it. Your strategical opinion on that one makes sense too, on taxes and stuff too, and the banks and all that. I get it, 100%. I agree with all of it. Yeah.
I believe it's going to get approved. I just have this feeling that it's going to get approved this month. I don't know why. I just got this gut feeling that it's going to get approved. They keep pushing. Valkyrie saying it's going to happen. They keep pushing, saying it's going to happen. I think something's going to happen, and it could happen this week. So let's really watch this closely because I would love to see it happen, and I think it would be a massive catalyst. And I predict that when it does happen, if it does happen this month, that we see Bitcoin go to at least 40,000, and I would be thrilled because it's been a phenomenal month for Bitcoin. All right, let's move on to the next topic because we're running out of time, guys. We only got 17 minutes left, and I still got a bunch of topics. The next topic is the White House. The White House under major pro-Palestinian protests happening at the White House yesterday, where pro-Palestinian marchers pushed against the White House fence, vandalizing national monuments during the protest. Earl, what do you think about this?
Palestine should police its own people. I'll leave it there. No, I'm just joking.
Okay.
I do see that they've been obstructing the fences. They do need to watch what they're doing and keep it peaceful if they're going to be actually doing protesting. But they have a right to protest. Every right. They just need to keep it peaceful and not obstruct the fence line and the security of the Capitol building itself, as they were doing. And then if they're going to be doing it, don't be obstructing traffic. I mean, just keep it peaceful, keep it simple. I heard a bunch of hate. Course motions are riding high. There's several different things they could be doing besides just campaigning there or rioting or demonstrating. But we'll see where it goes. But most of these people out here doing it aren't involved with anything besides that organization that's doing it, whether it be financially or providing aid or anything like that. And then these same people that are out there probably won't take any of the Palestinian or Gaza Strip people into their homes. So we'll just have to see where it goes.
Okay. Shady, what do you think about this?
I think it's a national security, especially with the borders being wide open. You have all these people that are, showing up for Palestine and making these arguments, and they're protesting and everything. But what security are they giving? When I saw the photos and everything, there's minimal security around the White House. And regardless whether we like the president or not, we love our White House. And I think that some of these protests that they're protesting, I mean, they don't know all the facts. I think that people aren't doing the research anymore. They're just listening to CNN. I mean, these are the same group of people that, and again, I'm going to go back to Earl's comment, need to be policing themselves. Absolutely. They have a lot of groups going out committing Jewish hate. And I don't agree with any of it. I think that if you're going to sit here and put a Palestine flag on American soil, I think that maybe you need to be deported. I think that the only flag that should be raised in our entire country is the American flag, period. And with that being said, I don't see these protests as productive. I see them as more of a national security issue.
Okay, well said. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? The protests happening at the White House yesterday that got pretty violent. No serious violence, but started getting a little bit out of hand. What do you think about this?
Well, I think for one thing, we all need to stay on alert. There's things going on that we don't know about, and there's things being planned that we don't know about. God help our country, because the whole world's going to hell in a handbag. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as this in particular incident, where's the arrests? That's what I want to know. You're vandalizing government property. You know, it won't happen. I think by and large they want to let certain things happen to draw attention away from others. And I think that as far as the individual protesters, keep it peaceful. I'm more than welcome anyone into our country that wants to be here to be an American. All right. I strongly suggest you hold tight to your heritage. But if you're here, become an American. If that's why you're here. If you don't want to be an American, leave. I don't care what nationality you are. Um, I mean, this is America. We can make it great, or we can make it all corrupt and fall apart. So protest all you want peacefully, but get your head out your ass and, you know, do what's right.
Well said, Nash Cowboy. And Blaze, what do you think about this protests at the Capitol?
Well, listen, everybody has a right to protest, okay, peacefully. Okay, but you come to America because you want to be American, right? Americans were kidnapped out there, okay, by people that are living in your side of the area, Palestine, right? So we have to get involved to get our people back, right? We did get back a few, right? So at the end, why are you protesting in front of our White House when your asses should be over there protesting to the Hamas and telling them to get off your property? Because they're the ones who caused it. That's my opinion. But in the real world, we're going to allow them to protest because that's our rules over here, right? But I think it's way out of control, okay? I think they need to, instead of giving $100 billion to the Ukraine, they need to buy a bunch of plane tickets and hand them out at the White House and tell them to go back over there and protest over there, because our kids don't need to see it here. And that's my opinion.
I love hearing your guys' opinions. Obviously, you guys are
I
all
would
in
like
America,
to.
so as a Canadian, I love to hear your guys' opinions. And I just think that the protests are getting out of hand. And if people are protesting and they're saying they want to kill people or they're wishing death on people, I don't see how that should be legal.
I got
I
it.
just don't see how that's legal. That is a threat.
Sorry.
So if you're threatening people at colleges and at the Capitol, I just don't see why that's allowed. There's a difference between a peaceful protest and a dangerous protest and a hate protest. And I feel like we're crossing over the line, and we need to start making it very clear is what is the difference between a peaceful protest and a hate-filled protest. And if it's a hate-filled protest, I think people should be put in jail. Okay, let's go on to the next topic here. So this is the
I just want to
Ukraine
add
war.
something
People,
to this.
sorry, we got to just move on, guys. We only got 10 minutes left. So I want to move on to the Zelensky Ukraine Russia war. Nobody talks about it anymore. And Zelensky is literally concerned because he feels like nobody is paying attention to him, so he's not going to be able to raise money. What do you guys think about this? Some people are saying that this war is kind of in a stalemate. That's what people are saying is this war is in a stalemate, and tensions are growing over the status of the war as Zelensky insists the conflict in Russia is not at a stalemate. So my question to you guys is the war at a stalemate? Is the war old news? Does the war even matter anymore? What's your opinion on this? We'll start with you, King Earl.
I think that on the conspiracy side of things, there was already a deal already on the tables that Zelensky had already handed over for peace with Russia. And then the fact that we're still looking at the continuation of it after all these nations signed off saying that they wanted peace in the area, and the UK and US was the only ones that didn't sign off on it, along with Ukraine to push for it and prolong the war non-peacefully. Um, I can't even say that you'd call it a war for Ukraine. It's more of just a defense of Ukraine. I mean, they're not really crossing borders and entering Russia to fight and take down the people causing them issues. They're just defending themselves, which is going to end in a stalemate every freaking time. Go on the offensive and do something, outside your country, then it will be a war. Past that will help you defend yourself. But if you're going to actually do war, do war. I mean, don't talk about it, be about it at this point. It's prolonged long enough. We've helped long enough. Do what you're going to do. Either be at peace and, sign over a bunch of crap, or go at it and actually go at it. But the war's lasted too long. Are you going to defend yourself, or are you just going to continue to spend American money on crap and other people's money on just defending yourself? And if that's the case, talk to Israel, try to get the Iron Dome set up for yourself, because Russia doesn't just launch rockets and missiles. They're going to actually attack by troops. So it ain't going to work for you the same way it does Israel. You actually have to go on an offensive against Russia every time. Winter's coming. You already lost your boat. So, we'll see where it goes from here, but I'm tired of it already.
Okay, yeah. Shady, I know you had a comment you wanted to say. You're welcome to give us that comment and then answer this comment. What do you think about this war? What's going on? What's your opinion?
Okay. I'm just going to spend about 15 seconds on the previous one. All I was going to say was basically that, in my opinion, they're not treating this like the January 6th, protest. I think is completely unfair. And that's all I have to say. As far as this war, I think it's a false war. I think that these are political chess moves. I think that China and Russia and North Korea threat as they shouldn't. I think this guy needs to create his own infrastructure within his own country. And I don't think that we should be supporting them anymore. We have too many things going on here at home and towards Israel. And Ukraine is not as big of an ally as Israel or even Iran used to be. Like we're wasting time. We should not be wasting time with this. If Putin wants to take back home his motherland from the way back past, well, that's none of our business. That is their business.
Okay, well said. Cowboy, what do you think about this? Nash?
Well, I thought, me, I was done with this war when it started. Let them do what they're gonna do over there. I think there's way too much money embezzling, in my personal opinion. I don't think we should give them another dime. And Zelensky can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. So keep it. America first. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. And Blaze, welcome back. What do you think about this? Is the war at a stalemate? Should America keep giving money to Ukraine? Is this war old news? What do you think's going on with this war?
Okay, so this war is nothing but a movie. The president is an actor. He's getting paid way more money than he'd get paid for a movie. Okay, we saw plenty of stage props on the news. People lifting up parts of buildings that weigh 3 ounces. An old woman carrying 2 sides of a building by herself. We're paying for good acting. I think the movie's getting boring. We need to move on to the next show. And I'm a broadcaster, and I broadcast with hundreds of Ukrainian broadcasters. And they don't look like they even are in a war. They're over there all dolled up, looking good, this, that, and the next. I think they're taking our money and giving it to civilians to shut up and go along with the story. We need to get out of it. Sorry if you're Ukrainian, but I know a lot of Ukrainian Americans that tell me. I hang around with one personally a lot, and she tells me everything. sounds fake to her, and she's Ukrainian. So coming
All
from
right,
an
well said.
American and a Ukrainian person, a good source that has family over there, I'm hearing some stuff I don't like. So we need to pull out and start taking care of our own civilians that are in dire need right now. And there's a lot of them. That 800 or $200 billion could have, fed people, I'm
I
done
hear
paying
you.
for an awful movie.
Yeah, it just seems like that one's never ending, and there to me like it seems like there is a stalemate, and it feels like it's like a war that's never going to end because as far as Zelensky's concerned, he seems to be fine. He's going all over the world and he's collecting money. He's like probably the largest fundraiser on the planet. He's received over 113 billion dollars from America
Yeah.
alone. I know he's working on getting another 20 or 30
Look
billion
at
from America
Trudeau.
alone. So I mean,
He went from 10 million
yeah,
to
he
400
doesn't
million.
look like he's in a war to me. I mean, he's in America waving at people. He's in Canada waving at people. I'm like, dude, you're not even in your own
He's
country. You're
supposed
in
to
a
be
war, but
there
you're
in
not even
boots
there.
over there fighting, like you said. Everybody, oh, the president over there is a stand-up
This is what I'm
guy.
trying to say. So you're not even there. You're fundraising all over the world, and you're not even there, and your country is at war. So it just seems bizarre. The whole thing seems bizarre. Doesn't make any sense. But I want to move on to the next topic. This is our last topic. We only got a couple minutes left, so I just want to get your guys' last opinion. So Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, apparently has a serious scandal where he's about to get subpoenaed. And this is the check right here that was written to his son, who is then written to him. And Hunter Biden's involved, Joe Biden's involved, a whole bunch of Bidens are involved. And there's this $40,000 check that was written to Joe Biden that came from China, and it's all over the news. And I put a video out talking about it. Joe Biden got $40,000 from his brother, actually, sorry, not his son, his brother, James, in a laundered China funds scandal. And it looks as though they want to subpoena Joe Biden and Hunter Biden for this as well. So this is news that is starting to trend everywhere. And Joe and Hunter Biden and his brother are all involved in this scandal. So you guys are in America. I'd love to know what you think about this. We'll start with you, King Earl. What do you think about the scandal? Is this going to mean that we're going to have the ex-president and the current sitting president on trial at the same time? Maybe the future president on trial at the same time?
Well, I'd like to start off with elections are in a year, so you know where to go vote. Past that, let's get him out, and then he can actually face criminal charges and actually go on trial. Before that, just continue to collect information. Don't tell him what you have coming. Just suck it to him all in one day. Whenever Trump or whoever it is walks into the office, or Kennedy, didn't Kennedy just drop out? So it's going to be a crazy thing. We have to get him out for where he can face criminal charges. Same thing they did with Trump. So I'm just tired of hearing about it. Let's get the election started. Let's get something going. Let's get the economy back on its feet, and quit playing around with stupid civil cases that mean nothing, and just sue the crap out of him here in freaking 2 years when it matters, and take that money and soak it back into Sam Bankman-Fried's company so that he can pay us back.
Well said. All right, Shady, what do you think about this? Joe Biden, the current sitting president, doing scandals with Chinese companies. What do you think about this?
I think this is just the beginning, fellas. I think here in a few years, we're going to look back. We're going to see this man as being president. He is absolutely the most treasonous on the planet for our country and ever in history. I think that this guy, I think that some of his family, including Jim and Hunter, deserve jail time. I mean, we can sit here and talk about $250 million fraud from Trump. Well, we can talk about billions of dollars that were bribed, traitorous, treasonous. I mean, the list goes on. I think that we're going to look back on this topic and we're going to look and say, this guy should have been in jail a long time ago. And we've let this cancel culture and everything else decide what we can do as far as, basically being man enough to go to the front lines and take care of this problem. I think over the next election, when Trump gets elected, because I think that's what's going to happen, I think all this stuff's going to come to light and a lot of people are going to go to jail. I think that this is just the beginning, fellas. I think here in a few years, we're going to look back. We're going to see this man as being president. I think that some of his family, including Jim and Hunter, deserve jail time. I mean, we can sit here and talk about $250 million fraud from Trump. Well, we can talk about billions of dollars that were bribed, traitorous, treasonous. I mean, the list goes on. I think that we're going to look back on this topic and we're going to look and say, this guy should have been in jail a long time ago. And we've let this cancel culture and everything else decide what we can do as far as, basically being man enough to go to the front lines and take care of this problem. I think over the next election, when Trump gets elected, because I think that's what's going to happen, I think all this stuff's going to come to light and a lot of people are going to go to jail. including 50-something members of the FBI, multiple people in the DOJ. I mean, there's just so much connected at this point. And I think it's just this little check is just what that is. It's a very, very small step to us finding out everything.
Well said. Very well said. I agree with you. I think there's a lot more behind this Biden and Hunter and Biden family scandal. I think there's a lot more where that came from. And if they were putting as much attention into the Biden family as they had been the Trump family, I think we're going to find a whole bunch more. And it's interesting because we have the ex-president and the current sitting president, and one of them has a very good chance of being the future president. And all of this scandal is happening right before an election. And I've never seen anything like it anywhere in the history of any country. I don't know if this even has happened. I'm sure it has, but it just seems really messy to watch it all unfold. Nash Cowboy, what do you think's going on here with Mr. Joe Biden?
I don't even know why they brought up a $40,000 check. That's like $1 check to us. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Like Shady was saying, what about the $4 million from Russia? What about hundreds of millions being shuffled through shell corporations? I mean, the guy's got to go to jail. That's all I can say. It's getting preposterous at this point that they keep nailing Trump with stuff, but look at the stuff that they're doing. The bribery in Ukraine with the prosecuting officer, whatever he was. It needs to go down, and it needs to go down hard. The Biden whole family needs to go down.
All right, well said. Blaze, you get the last word. What do you think about this?
You got Biden, you got Trump, you got Trudeau, you got Putin, you got Zelensky. They're all crooks, one way or another. But Trump's more innocent, okay, than all of them. So we should be focusing on the guy that's actually running our country that's doing garbage like this. This thing called impeachment needs to happen like yesterday, okay? Any kind of accusations like that and proof, there's proof. There's a check, right? That he received. That's enough to throw him out of office right there. That's why the 40 grand and the only evidence that they want to show right now is good enough to me to say to impeach the guy, get him out. You're done. Go to Hawaii, pick a spot, and drink your margarita. You're done. I'm disgusted with the way the United States actually has been run for the past 4 years of my 51 years. And maybe 40 great years I can remember presidents. This is disgusting. It's an embarrassment to the United States of America, the powerful country in the world. We're looking like a bunch of rookies right now, and we need to clean up the mess.
Well said, Blaze. All right, guys, we've run out of time. Before I say goodbye, I'll let you guys all have one more word. King Earl, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think that they're actually doing all this against Trump. I mean, we're looking at several things that happened with him. I mean, we're looking at money laundering, we're looking at colluding, we're looking at other things, everything that Joe Biden is also guilty of. So it kind of just softens the blow of when actually they open up the cases against him. Say, well, y'all let Trump by with it. Why aren't you going to let Joe Biden by with it? So, I mean, it's just setting the groundwork where they might have an escape plan for him. But, we'll see where it goes from here. And I think corruption is corruption, and it should be sued and fought at the end of the day. And whether you got to face jail time if you broke any actual criminal charges, that's up to you. But in final words of the statements, live long and prosperous,
All right, King Earl. Shady, any last words?
I would just have to say that a lot of the reasons why I don't think the Republicans push this so hard is because they really don't want Kamala to be that fill-in spot because she's worse than Biden is. I also think that this is the first time in our country's history, and maybe even in the history of the world in multiple countries, that we're facing not only one or two things, such as, two presidents might be subpoenaed to court. We're also looking at the collapse of the dollar. I mean, this world is crazy right now. This is going to be the talking point of history for the next 200, 300 years.
Well said. Nash Cowboy, final words.
Well, I'm just, you know, the world's becoming a mess. We've never seen some of the things we've seen here in just the last 10 years, really. And America, Canada, we just really need to get our shit together. That's all I can say about that. God bless y'all.
All right, Nash Cowboy. And Blaze, final words.
My final words are America, get your shit together. Canada, follow suit. And you know what, guys? Life's too short. I'm 51 now. God knows when anything could happen. Um, I'm focusing too much on all the garbage that I know what's going on. At this point, you know, the government, the politicians, and stuff like that. I used to be really interested in it, but now it's like kind of becoming a fad to me. And I'm just going to worry about my kids, my friends like you guys, your well being, and stuff like that. And as far as all this hokey doke shit going on across the world, you know what? Good luck, because the guy upstairs makes the final decision. God bless you guys.
Well said. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 24. We've got some new content coming. We're going to actually be interviewing all of you guys one-on-one over the next few weeks. You guys are going to get a chance to hear from some of our co-hosts, and you're going to get a chance to hear them answer some of these questions as a one-on-one, as opposed to a group, because we've been doing the group videos for a couple months, and we want to change it up and give you guys an opportunity that are watching a chance to learn more about all of our co-hosts. So thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the content, please smash the like button, comment down below, share the video everywhere, and subscribe. I'm your host, Rich, from the Rich TV Live podcast. And thank you for joining us. We've got King Earl, we've got Shady, Nash Cowboy, and Blaze. And I'll have a description to all of their YouTube channels in the description of this video down below. So go and follow them. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Later, brothers.